Hey y'all, I'm Val from Our Forever Farm. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making a Greek pasta salad. I'm going to share the ingredients with you now, so if you want to follow along, you can get them out. First, we're going to make the actual Greek pasta salad, and then we'll be making the dressing that goes along with it. So I'm using, I believe it's pronounced rotini. I'm Southern, so I don't say it like Italians, but I'm using this pasta, rotini. I'm going to use half of a red onion, and I'm going to slice it very thin. We're going to use this whole bell pepper, and I'm just going to chop it up. We're going to use, it calls for a pint of tomatoes, little cherry tomatoes. I like the sun golden. I don't think this is that. That's what I like. It's the sun gold. I think it has a few of them in there, right there. So this is all I can find at the store. I can't wait till cherry tomatoes get done in the garden. That's going to be so good. But for today, we're using this. Today, we're using Kalamata olives, and I believe that's how you say that. I'm using black olives too. We like olives. I'm using about half a cup, maybe 3/4 cup of feta cheese, crumbled. Now my recipe calls for parsley, fresh parsley. I don't have fresh, but I'm going to use this dried parsley flakes. And it'll hydrate when we put the dressing on, so it will be fine. We're going to use salt and pepper. I'm going to chop up some yellow squash just because I have them and they're fresh from the farmer's market. It'll be really good. Now that's all of the ingredients that go in the pasta salad. So let's get started cooking it. So we're going to start out with like 4 quarts of water. We're going to get it to a boil. We're going to pour the pasta in and we're going to cook it probably 9 to 15 minutes just till the pasta is tender. And I'm going to put the lid on it and bring it to a boil. So while we're waiting on this, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my ingredients, washed and chopped up.
Now we're chopping up our red onion right now, and as you will see, I'm not a professional chopper by any means. I'm just a country cook. Now we're just moving on to wash and prepare the vegetables. Now I'm just going to add some salt and pepper to the pasta water.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to soak our onions that we've chopped, and that's just to get the bite out of the onions. It'll still taste like onion, but it won't have that bite. So I'm going to soak them in cold water with a little salt. We're also going to use some fresh spinach. We're going to wash this, drain it, and put it in the salad.
Now our water is boiling and we're going to add the pound of pasta. Now y'all know me, I don't go just by a recipe, but I will put an original Greek pasta recipe in the description box that I used as a guide. In any recipe I make, I love to improvise and just use what I have. Now we're just going to let this boil for 9 to 15 minutes until it's done. I absolutely love fresh cucumbers and I love to put them in a pasta salad. Now if you're just buying them from the grocery store, not so good. But if you're getting them fresh from the market or out of your garden, they are delicious. We are very blessed and have a farmer's market right close to our house, probably within 10 minutes. And I've become friends with a lot of them. I really enjoy going. I don't go every week yet, but soon I will. Here I'm just chopping up the fresh spinach that I bought at the store.
So we have most everything chopped up. We haven't drained our olives and things like and the onions yet, but my pasta is done, and I'm going to show you how I cool it off. You want to cool it before you add all these ingredients. And we're just going to cool it with cool water. Now the point of doing this is to stop the cooking process. So that's why I have a bowl underneath. If you can see, let's see if I can get that off. Because I want to pour this water off, and I want eventually for it to be sitting in cold water. That'll stop the cooking process and cool the pasta. And we want the pasta to be cool enough to touch. You don't have to put it in the refrigerator, but you want it cool enough to touch. So I'm just going to let that run over that a few minutes. And it'll just pour right out. When I get the water in the bowl cool enough, then I'll just let it sit here for a few minutes. And it's almost there. So while that sits in cool water and cools off a little bit, I'm talking about just a minute after it's cold, I'm going to drain my onions. So all I've done is just got a strainer like this, and I'm going to pour my onions on it and just let them drain while we're doing everything else. I'll just set them in that bowl and set them aside right there. That'll work. Now I'm going to go ahead and lift this out, pour the water out, pour my pasta into the big bowl, and that is cold, so it's cold enough to touch. If you feel like you might not have drained it good enough, just do it again. So while all this is sitting here just cooling and draining, the onions anyway, I'm going to start on the dressing.
Now, I will tell you, I'm making the dressing that's in this recipe that I'm putting in the description box. My preferred dressing is a dressing like an Italian dressing or a poppy seed dressing. You can just buy those if you don't want to make this. It's my favorite actually, but I'm just making this so I can show you that you can make a dressing at home. And this dressing can stay in the refrigerator for a week, and you can use it on other things.
So here's my pasta, and what I'm going to do, because some people don't like onions, is I'm going to put part of this in another bowl and just kind of split it up a little bit, not half and half, but because more will like the Greek taste of the onions in here than not.
So remember, as I split this up, one thing that I love to encourage you to do is use what you have, make up your own recipes. Use a recipe as a guide, sure, but just add what you have. Like this recipe doesn't call for squash, but I'm adding squash. A pasta salad is something good to have in your refrigerator at all times. It's a great potluck dish that you can take somewhere and share with others.
Mess in this kitchen, y'all. But right now I'm just going to drain these Kalamata, I think's how you say it, olives.
Now, I'll be the first to admit, personally, these are not my favorite olives. Black olives are my favorite, but I'm adding them.
Now I'm going to do the very same thing. Sweet Hunter says, why do you have to bend over? I don't know. I'm going to do the very same thing with the black olives.
And another option is if you don't like onions, don't even add them. But that does make it a Greek pasta salad. And that is the name of our dish today, Greek pasta salad.
Now we're just going to pour our feta cheese over the salad. You put as much as you want in here. So I've got the one with the onions and I've got the one without. I'm just going to use a lot.
Now after we stir this, it's time to add the dressing. And the dressing can sit on the salad in the refrigerator before you eat it. My preferred dressing is an Italian or a poppy seed dressing, but I wanted to make this to show you it can be made.
I'm going to get me some out just to taste it. See if I think it needs more salt, more pepper, more olive oil. Let me get a fork. This is the one with onions. Whoops. And I definitely think it needs more salt. We're going to add some salt to that. Now let's see what we think. Very good. Just needs a little salt. Very good. I don't even taste an onion. Okay, let me get a little bit of this one. You can also add a little sugar to this, and I might do that too. The salt made the difference. I may add just a little sugar to this. Very good. Now, I'm not cooking supper tonight, so what I'm going to do, I've got some grilled chicken that Sweet Hunter grilled on the grill. I'm going to put this on a plate, warm the grilled chicken, put it on top of it. I've got supper. This is very good. Just do it to the taste that you like. Use whatever you like in it. The recipe that I'm putting in the description box will not be exactly like I made it because I added extra things that it didn't call for. So do it how you want it. You want to put this in an airtight container and put it in the refrigerator. I like to put mine at least overnight. So it makes it better. Everything just melds together. It's so good. Y'all go cook something.